What's up, everybody? This is Peter again for Sports Hot Rumors and Debates. How are you guys? So, I didn't make any video on showing you guys, the obvious difference between Kyler Murray and Jacoby Brissett. What I will tell you, okay, I'm outside. I wanted to talk to everybody here for a little bit, for us Cardinal fans, is how long have I been making videos saying this exact thing? And what bothers me is why now? Why now? Everybody's coming out saying, oh, Jacoby Brissett, the offense looks better with him. The offense looks better without Kyler Murray. Why is McBride all of a sudden has got 2 touchdowns in one game? McBride took to the last game last year and they had to squeeze him to get a touchdown. The whole thing for when this guy should have minimum a touchdown per game. Why is it just better this way? And Brissett has no running back in James Conner when Kyler Murray had James Conner before. So why is it now? Let's go through. First, let's start with the fans, right? The ones who stood with me talking about, Pete, you're right about Kyler Murray, blah, blah, blah. I definitely need to get. So you know what I'm talking about. We've been together talking about this shit the whole time. Now, the ones who disagree with me, I'm not mad at you. I'm not mad at all. I totally get it. There's some people who, are diehard Kyler Murray fans. They like him. They want to ride with him. So I'm fine with that. But what does get me is when you look past the obvious and you talk shit to me about, like, you don't know football, you don't know this, and when clearly you don't know the game. That's the main thing. Now, we're just fans. Here's the bigger fucking issue here. The management, the ownership, right? How? Just tell me how is it taking you this long, okay? This long to make this observation. And don't tell me because he's under contract or anything. We have guys who are built to win now. We have guys in Trey McBride and in Marvin Harrison Jr. We have a great defense that we're building, and we're supposed to win now. These last 2 games that we played, and I want to explain something to you. Jacoby Brissett is nowhere near the answer to our problems, okay? He's a backup veteran quarterback. But what it definitely showed, is that if we had any capable quarterback, we would be either not undefeated, but we could have been undefeated this year. If you go back and look at every single game that we played, we could easily be undefeated instead of being in last place. And coaching is a big problem here, okay? Their play calling, the way they run the clock management. I've been saying this the whole time too. Like with Kyler Murray, every time we're up, like he either goes 3 and out and everything, and half of it's on him, half of it's on the coach, right? And so a lot of overhaul needs to happen. So I was talking to one of the fans, on my channel a couple of days ago, and he was very upset, and I don't blame him for feeling upset the way he feels about, we were excited coming into this, but I don't want people to get excited for Jacoby Brissett. He's not the guy, but what he did was open up eyes, and by Kyler getting it, it's finally, will show you now, wow, if we had a quarterback. Now, if you guys go back to my video, when the draft was happening with Drake May, I was begging for a guy like Drake May. I was hoping we can get someone like that to see how it goes. We had a shot at him, right? But we didn't want. We screwed up the end of the year. We wanted to ride with Kyler. They didn't care how it went. The same thing with like when CD a long time ago. Like we keep making stupid decisions. Now the Patriots, who were terrible, now their franchise is going in the right direction, right? Even though their running back hasn't even been doing shit, Henderson. So their franchise is going in the right directions, and they don't have superstars there. Diggs is definitely a superstar type player, but not anymore. He's just a really great hands player, but he's not going to be Justin Jefferson. So there's no superstars there. But what Drake May's doing is making the right passes, right when to run. He just is smart. They got a great coach now. So Arizona's problem, and the same with the Diamondbacks, is that it just feels like Arizona, the whole, like, I don't know if it's the city or in Phoenix, I don't know what it is. It's just they don't make smart decisions with management and everything, and they don't know how to, like, it's like they do something right for a year or two, and then they start like messing things up. You know, when you have a shot at this, when you have the right players, if you drafted right, if you did something well, you gotta capitalize on it. You can't do things right in two things and then the main things where the coaches and the quarterbacks you're not fixing and you're not doing. So you're wasting guys like McBride and Harrison. Now Harrison needs to. Let me tell you, Marvin's been dropping the ball, right? The ball's been going a lot through his hands. He needs to step up a lot more because you could see the talent. And I feel like he will. I feel like it's just going to turn for him. He's getting there. He's getting better. But it's very difficult, right? It's very difficult, like when there's things that are going inconsistent. So what does Arizona need to do now? If you looked at the game with Green Bay, we were right there, but it was really bad clock management. And the play with Jacoby Brissett on 4th down was one of the worst plays I've ever seen. I love that we were going for it. That was the correct move. Okay, however, you don't take an old backup quarterback and try to do a tush push pretty much from 2. It was just awful. An awful decision there, right? And that messed up the whole game. We could have easily, if we get that first down, we could have killed the clock more. We could have won the game. That's on the coach. This is just bad play, right? We had last week. We had the win too. And we just keep choking. We just keep doing stupid things. Now Kyler Murray's gonna come back, okay? And everything. If Kyler has a bad game, you'll see. All the stuff that I've been saying, it's gonna come, regardless of if Kyler has a good game or a bad game. Changes need to happen. Now the question is, what happens, right? Do we make trades, right? Does Kyler Murray, do we trade him? Do we go trade him to like Cleveland or the Jets or something? And do we either sacrifice the season, try to draft a quarterback, or do you try to trade for a quarterback, or do you try to get a veteran quarterback, right? You see that can fill in a couple years, right? And I'm not like see how Cousins was a few years ago, or do you see what happened with Sam Darnold, right? How his career changed, right? Do you try to do something like that? Because there's guys out there. There's definite guys out there. There was a guy who I thought about, and I don't know anymore, right? Because the way he's playing is awful, was Justin Fields a while ago. Because I feel like Justin Fields could have been a good quarterback, but it was his decision to go to stupid teams with no offensive line. And he looks awful right now, right? But Rodgers looked bad, and you can see how he looks now with Pittsburgh. It's just the Jets. Sam Darnold looked awful, and then look what he did. So I don't want to make Fields worse. I really feel like he would be a good quarterback to go with, our system, because he can run and he can do things. So that's something you could do. And if it doesn't work, you have him for a year or so. I would do something like that. I would like to see if that would work, because I think he would fit very well. He's still young, and I really feel that you need to build around the guys we have now. And if you're just sacrificing these years with like crappy quarterbacks, what happens is McBride's going to want to go, or Harry. McBride, I love McBride. How could you not? Look what he was doing. Like, he was beating himself up because he didn't sit on the play where he was supposed to get that catch from Brissett, and he just kept going. And he knows that was a messed up play, right? So there was a lot of things that we could have done. And Brissett messed up a few things too, but hold on, sorry. We're not expecting him to be, a superstar quarterback. But it just bothers me that if we didn't see this, we didn't see everything that I was talking about. Why is it taking this long? We could have had it. We could have done so many things in this draft class, but no, they want to be stubborn. They want to try to go with this small quarterback anymore. And listen, I was a Kyler Murray fan in the beginning, the very beginning. And I was all for him when he was running. He doesn't run anymore. He's scared of contact. It's over. Okay, you can't get a guy. Your quarterback can't be scared to run. He can't be scared of contact. He can't throw off of his back foot. It just can't happen. It just can't happen, right? You look at Joe Flacco really quick when he with the Bengals the other day. Bengals are pretty much out with this guy Browning. You brought in a veteran quarterback, and right, you see with Jamar Chase, and you see the energy it brought in for the Bengals. Just to have a quarterback. And Joe Flacco, by no means, is this amazing quarterback, right? He definitely won a Super Bowl. That was more because the Ravens' defense. Remember, back in the day, he wasn't that good, right? But he's a veteran now. The throws are there. He's not scared to throw an interception. He's going to get the job done most of the time. And that's what you see how these players look when the ball gets on them. Put the ball anywhere near for them to make the play. It just bugs me. It bugs me that we are we would even think that even if we made the playoffs, that Kyler would do anything against tough teams. We were home against Green Bay, right? So imagine if that was Kyler at Green Bay in the cold, in the playoffs. Come on, man. There's like no light at the end of this tunnel. He will never be Philly. He will never be at Seattle. He will never be at Green Bay, and we will always continue to lose with him. So I just feel like if their goal is maybe get in the playoffs one day and that's it, then sure, I'm sure that can happen one day. But this year we had the easiest schedule in the beginning, the easiest. There was no excuse for us to be like this. Now we have the hardest schedule, because we had such an easy schedule that we needed to make sure that we went either 4 or 5-0, or at least 5-1, just to do our job. And we easily could have. And then the defense has been fantastic. But because, like we go back and forth so many times with these bad play calls or these bad things, the defense keeps coming out there. Like if anybody watched the Texans-Seattle game yesterday, right? The Texans defense was awesome. But you wouldn't know it too much because they kept having to come out every 3 seconds, because they're offensive. And it just reminded me of the way C.J. Stroud was struggling and everything, how Kyler struggles, I don't know. Just let me know what you guys think. Also, the last thing I want to tell you guys is I made a new channel, Funny for Commercials. So I'm going to try to put it in the link. If you guys can subscribe to that, I would really appreciate it, right? It's, I make better commercials. Right, I'll put it there. It's funny, and I'm gonna try to start doing funny commercials on the side. Anyway, let me know what you guys think. Bye.